everybody. Come on in, take a seat. Welcome to the Cluster Puck Podcast, part of the MHRT Network. Here at Center Ice, I am Nick. Beside me, as always, is Brit. How's it going, Brit?
Good. Can you still not see me? Man, I am just
Still waiting for your grand appearance. But we at least got the audio. Hey, there we go.
How's it going?
Fashionably.
Whatever the opposite of fashionably late is.
Unfashionably.
Yeah.
Well, very good. Okay, well, we got a lot to talk about today, so and a little time to do it because we have a game here in less than an hour. So before we get started, don't forget to like and subscribe, follow the MHRT Network so you can get notified when shows like the Cluster Puck Podcast go live. You can do so on the various social media platforms of your choosing. And if you want to follow us, we ask that you do so at the Cluster Puck Podcast on Facebook and at Cluster Puck Avs on Twitter, Instagram, and Threads. Okay, Britt, so what to start with? I guess the past games, maybe we just kind of hop over those. But then I really want to talk about the Avalanche power play because it is firing on all cylinders.
Not anymore.
It's not bad, and that's the best part.
Yeah.
Okay, so there was only a couple of games that happened over the last week, both of which were wins. One of which was reminiscent of a game from the previous week that we talked about. So let's go ahead and talk about that. So the Avalanche win in the Bell Center in Montreal by a shootout score of 5-4.
Not said many times winning in a shootout.
That's the good news is you did win. You got the second point. This is wonderful. The stupid part about this game, like Dallas and the week before that we talked about, this game needlessly went to the extra period and let alone the shootout. At one point in time, I think 4 minutes in, Brock Nelson scores the 4-1 goal. We are up 4-1. Historically, this season, the Avalanche win those games 99% of the time.
Remember when we
in regulation, I should add.
And it was all about like the comebacks, and we'd get behind, and now we just piss 3-goal leads down our leg.
It continues to amaze me sometimes how the parody of hockey always just flashes at the most random of times. Like take for example, this is a different team, but the Utah Hockey Club, we went and saw them at the Delta Center just over the weekend on Saturday.
Yeah.
And they beat the Tampa Bay Lightning, right? With a score of what should have been 8-4, but it was 6-4, a win nonetheless. Well, right now they are getting their butts kicked back at Tampa now, 6-0.
And people are like straight back into thinking that Tampa is a true cup contender. Like they are hard.
I can't believe it. But the point I was getting at though was that the parity of this league is just off the charts. Where sometimes the teams that you don't think are going to win suddenly win a week later, and it's a completely different story. And this one is the same exact type of thing with the Avalanche, where in Montreal, it was an expected win. We talked about this last week, right? There are 2 important points on the line. Montreal was aware of that. And no game is officially over until it's over,
Honestly, I think that that game speaks to Montreal almost more than to the Avs. I mean, Montreal is truly... they're kind of having an incredible little run here. You can't count them out. It's not just the Avs that they're like shocking and upsetting. They've really like made a run at a lot of really good teams, and they've kicked some really good butt lately. So I think that you do have to give Montreal credit just as much as you have to complain about the Avs,
Exactly. And I mean, all within the span of within a 5-minute span, 2 of which were 30 seconds apart, they score boom, 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 and it's like
good goals too, not like
it's like, guys, what happened? Like that's just how fast these things can turn on their heads. 2 quick goals, and the game changes completely.
For the rest of the season, comfortably go to the sleep. Like if I have something major going on or I have to miss the end of the game, I'll never be able to trust waking up comfortably. You know what I mean? Because that's what every other 3-goal lead, I'm never going to trust it. So thank you for taking away my
it's crazy that like just 20 years ago, 3-goal lead, it's like, oh, what a blowout.
Oh my God.
But now 3-goal leads are not even safe.
4-goal lead is the new 2-goal lead. I don't
Something like that.
know.
It's
Yeah.
crazy. It's just crazy the skill that the NHL has come to at this day and age.
Yeah.
Well, the good news is you had a lot of, how do I say, a lot of depth that came into play. Sam Malinsky and Ryan Lindgren get the
Best
scoring.
part of honestly the last week. It's so exciting, and that game especially. Were they all scored by different players, weren't they?
With this one, Malinsky and Lindgren in the first, Natchez in the second, and then Brock Nelson in the third.
Yeah.
So it's good to see right now that depth is scoring, especially with Malinsky and Lindgren. Like your third pair defensive line is scoring.
Malinsky has been phenomenal, and I think this game was kind of, if I remember, that was kind of the peak. I mean, he's had the best games we've ever seen him play with the Avalanche, right? And I mean,
yeah,
there was a while that it was a concern. I was wondering if he was going to end up being a deadline sweetener. And within the last few weeks, clearly they had the faith in him, but I didn't know if he was going to be a regular roster player, which bummed me out because he worked so hard in training camp and had such a strong start, but he was looking bad. And now, I mean, he's like a little Cale Makar. That shot is a cannon.
It's incredible. He reminds me, oh my gosh, I just lost his name, but he was on the Avs a couple seasons ago, captain of the Eagles for the longest time, and now all of a sudden I forgot his name.
Like a McDonald, he just got called up? Is that who you're talking about?
No, it wasn't McDonald. The missing teeth.
Hunt?
What's that?
Hunt? Brad Hunt?
Brad Hunt. Yes, that's exactly right. Thank you. He reminds me of he's got the same type of snipe shot as Brad Hunt.
And Brad Hunt just randomly scored goals. It was so weird.
Yeah. It was so impressive.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping this means Malinsky turns the new leaf and becomes kind of this new age, replacement, if you will, for Josh Manson since he's out and stuff like that. I think being paired with Ryan Lindgren has actually been quite beneficial to him.
Yeah. Yeah, I was not anticipating that line to end up being so I mean, none of them feel like a liability. You know what I mean? I don't feel like they are. For the first time, we're not having to think so hard about what line is on the ice with who, and you know what I mean? It's really nice. Even Eric Johnson's getting minutes still.
Yeah, isn't that incredible?
Yeah.
I quite enjoy that.
Lower body injury. I think it was after this game, wasn't it?
I think he did.
Yeah.
Yep, I think that. I mean, it would have to be because he didn't play in the second one.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Brock Nelson does, I think, so let's see. In the shootout then, Charlie Coyle actually gets a shootout goal. Quite a nice little backhand. Patrick Laine obviously responds a couple later, but then Brock Nelson, nice little wrist shot.
Yeah.
And that's all she wrote for Montreal. Again, the Avalanche have some kind of a way of something with Montreal. It's the same thing with something with Chicago. In Chicago, it's just, I don't know what it is about that place, but it's just an Achilles heel for the Avalanche, and I would
like to see a game there someday. That rings.
Oh, I absolutely agree.
So absolutely incredible. I liked the story at the end of the game. I'm not sure if you had heard there. Bednar was actually going to put Drouin out for that last shot that Coyle took, and Drouin said, "No, you got to put Coyle out." Apparently, Coyle is notoriously good at
the shootout god.
Yeah. And Bednar, I'm glad he listened, I guess, because Drouin also is, which my God, did the magic shine between Drouin and McKinnon that game. McKinnon has been awfully quiet, but yeah, so it was going to be Drouin, and he's apparently Coyle's got a little bit of magic when it comes to shootouts. So it's nice because Mika was kind of our little bit of magic for shootouts, but really we haven't had a shootout specialist. I mean, even McKinnon, it was not a very good shootout attempt, I didn't think. So his missed.
Yeah. Just been one of those times for him. So
yeah,
I don't know, but that was a good call on Jonathan Drouin. I wasn't aware of that. I don't know why. I don't know how I missed that.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on to the next game then. This one, you're back at home, obviously finishing that road trip, tiny little guy. The Avalanche win this game with a score of 5-2 against the Detroit Red Wings. This one was it was the return of JT Compher, as we kind of figured. He scores on the power play.
It's a pretty
but
goal.
Then effectively it's all Avs the rest of the way. I mean, it didn't take 45 seconds for Cale Makar and the Avs to respond.
Yeah.
Epots is 27th of the season.
It's insane.
And then Valnichushin.
Yeah.
What's that?
Nuke too. Well, Nuke and Makar. Yeah. They're both. This game was such a just. Oh my God, those two are insane. Nuke he can't be stopped. It's
incredible. Just because I quite like him. I think on this particular goal that he scored, he was with Drouin and McKinnon, but with him and Nelson, they've got something pretty phenomenal growing.
That line,
I think,
yeah, because I was kind of worried about them having to split them up, Natchez and Mac, but I love the way that second line together, and that's not. I don't think that would have been a starting point for anyone, would it have? I mean, it's.
I don't know.
They're going. I like the way it's going. I'm glad that the blender found that.
The blender. That's right. That's right. But the good news about this though is
they're knocking at the door. I'm sorry, my dogs are.
That's all right. So there's two. You had two power play goals, one in the second, one in the third, and then obviously the empty netter by Logan O'Connor, who gets his 8th of the season. Awesome to see him finally score because again, I think we talk about this often, is that he puts out so much effort and just gets such little reward for it.
He's just got no finish. He can never finish. It's crazy.
Yeah. And sometimes the puck luck just doesn't follow him either, which is just so sad to think about.
I'm sorry, it's such a beautiful day out, and the kids are off school, so there's kids knocking at my door, and no one.
Oh, I get you. No, not a problem. Not a problem. So those are the two games that we wanted to talk about. So perfect, 4 points. Everything was great. But I do want to go back, and I do want to discuss a little bit about the power play. So the reason I bring this up is obviously they're not perfect, but it has been noticeably better as far as I'm concerned. And it even caught highlights
because don't they? I think they have the worst penalty kill in the league, like best power play, worst penalty kill, or something like that.
Let's see if I could pull that up. But as I'm looking that up, I'll just bring this up. So the NHL and even ESPN as a whole caught wind of this in the Montreal game, that power play goal that Martin Natchez scored. It was just the most fluid passing you've ever seen in your life.
God, yeah.
And I wanted to kind of talk about that for a second. So as far as that power play, I feel like once Martin Natchez came on, the power play has looked drastically different in that Natchez is the one who will pull the trigger and he doesn't care. And that leads to a lot of these rebounds that are occurring and kind of these grimy putback goals and, whatever else you have.
Yeah.
It's been noticeably different. And I think for the better.
Oh, for sure. And I'm not sure. What do you think exactly was the catalyst in pushing it forward? Or do you think that this is all just like the coming together of... Oh, am I frozen here?
No, you're good. Okay. Yeah.
I mean, I just don't know what can be pinpointed as the changing point because I'm sorry, I keep breaking up and I'm not sure if you are, so I'm trying to make sure that if I sound totally off here, I missed part of your sentence there. Did you notice that when you were talking about the passing, I think I heard you correct there, but we are playing the second unit more than I think we have in the last 2 years. Is that what you were talking about there for a second?
No, I don't recall. So, that's a good point you bring up. Is that second unit is being put on the ice more, and I think the reason why is because the cohesion that exists from
McKinnon can get off the ice.
Amazing. Yeah. So so right now, as far as what I pulled up on the stats, the Avalanche sit ninth in overall power play percentage at just over 25%, believe it or not. But it has been progressively getting better and better and better. But that's what I wanted to bring up,
Yeah.
is that it's been a noticeable progression. I don't know if you agree with
Especially
that.
when it's getting better, but playing the first unit less. I mean, that's a double plus. It's not like the first unit is just having to carry it or just one person is carrying it. It's nice to know that if Mac has to miss a game or Makar has to miss a game, or it feels inevitable that Winnipeg is going to take we're going to play Dallas pretty much. So if we do a little quote unquote load management, that we're not going to be obliterated, on special teams. Should we be missing one of them, or in the playoffs, somebody's bound to get hurt, off and on, or we're going to lose somebody at some point. But it's nice to know that we can rely on more than just the 5 guys on the first unit.
Yeah. Yeah. And it even goes to show, as far as it carries over into the second game, that Red Wings game that we talked about. Devon Taves, he got first star of the game, which was awesome, because he had a power play goal that both Natchez and Nelson assisted on.
Yeah.
Right. And it was a great goal, don't get me wrong, but it just felt like anyone could score at any time on that power play.
Yeah.
And it's nice to kind of have that feeling. And like I said, obviously you're not going to go out and score every single time. In fact, if I just pull up the statistics, okay, Avs were 2 for 2 in that one. That's a bad example.
Until yesterday. So, but I mean, the Red Wings have had the best power play. I believe. I mean, their little playoff push was entirely reliant upon the power play, and their power play suffering a little bit is kind of, and their penalty kill is so bad, which is like, stop taking penalties on us. Like, you guys are not good at the penalty kill. But I mean, we dominated them, and it almost, like, we've had a couple games where I've told you that I felt it makes me uncomfortable to a point but that's multiple games that the Avs have absolutely made the other team look like a Bantam team. Granted, sometimes they end up blowing it in the end, but just imposing their will upon these teams. It's nice to see them do that, and now it'd be nice to see them continue to do that, but eliminate the third period bedwetting.
Yeah, I think you're exactly right. So that's kind of been it as far as that power play is concerned. It's been super good to see. Things are getting better, and they're taking advantage of the ones that they
the momentum feels like it's in a proper trajectory to hit the playoffs cruising, you know what I mean? Because that's what Winnipeg, some teams are kind of starting to teeter off, but it really feels like they're gonna hit their maximum stride with the new guys. And Landeskog, it feels like that keeps building and building and building. I don't know if you've heard anything on Manson. It'd be nice to have him back. It'd be nice. I mean, my hope is that he wasn't really that hurt, but they finally said, you know what, like, just sit out take the long term off so that you can be full Josh Manson for the playoffs. Because could you imagine adding a full force Josh Manson to this team right now? I mean,
so great.
Sickening you just forget sometimes that he's there. You know what I mean? It's just crazy.
No, you're exactly right. Anyway, so super awesome. It's awesome to see the depth of scoring as well. So honestly, just great couple of games. I think you went 3 for 4 on power plays, so that percentage was amazing. But now we have some upcoming games that we're going to discuss. I think based off of the schedule, we're going to talk about the next 5.
Holy
I
bananas.
think that's how. Yeah, it's going to be nuts. Where, of course, you'll have 2 games last week, but 5 in the upcoming week. That's the NHL, baby.
And they're all like late games for me. Now we're getting back into your guys' territory, I think, if I remember correctly.
Pretty close. Yeah, I know a couple of them are. So the one that we're going to talk about first, obviously, the one here in just a little bit, The Avs are back home against the Los Angeles Kings. Keep in mind right now, Britt, that the LA Kings currently sit in second in the Pacific Division as far as overall.
I think they're not frauds, right? At this point, I have more faith in them. I think this is the year that they beat the Oilers, possibly. Don't you?
It could be, especially with all these injuries lingering and whatnot. I'm
But
hoping it is the case because poor LA. I just feel so bad for them. But regardless, as far as overall points are concerned, they are only 2 points behind you. So it's kind of a pretty close matchup as far as the record and how the game should go. Say that again.
Have we played Kemper since he left? If I swear to goodness, it doesn't feel like we played.
I think we did. I think in Washington at least, and we embarrassed him pretty bad, if I remember correctly. Does that make you happy?
No, I love Kemper so much. Can you believe that Kemper and Swayman were going to fight, the two sweetest goalies in the whole NHL?
That was the thing. It's like right after the Fleury Bennington fight, which is like the one that was must see TV. That was going to bring like eyeballs like crazy. The next fight, that one there with Kemper and Swayman, two of the nicest goalies of like all time.
I know, literally the darlings of the NHL.
And they already had gloves and helmets dropped, and I was like,
so wild. Just
this
shows
is going to be the most amazing thing ever. And those stupid referees, again, got in the way.
I know. So maybe we'll see a little Blackwood Kemper. Maybe Kemper's got some pent up aggression still that he needs to get out.
There you go. Maybe I'm hoping there's something there, but I just want those goalie fights to come back.
Are they playing him tonight? Have you seen anything? I haven't looked at rosters or anything.
Let's take a look.
Because do they even have a?
In the meantime, while I'm looking that up, the key to the game that I kind of have for this the LA game is they are chasing Vegas just like how we are chasing Dallas, right?
Yeah.
And
Vegas,
it's games. They're playing David Riddick, by the way.
Oh, can't be.
I know, right? It's like, oh, you're kidding me. But the thing is, so as far as Dallas, we're chasing them. We're 5 points behind them, and that spread is starting to get bigger and bigger and bigger.
Yeah,
well, Vegas is also 5 points, 5 points ahead of LA, and so but that gap I believe is shrinking because LA has been winning and Vegas has been dropping some games here and there. Mm-hmm. So they are going to play, despite because even Riddick's just as good. They are still going to play with this playoff mentality now because you only have a dozen games left in the season, not a lot.
Yeah.
And it's got kind of go time,
Yeah.
Yep.
And they didn't really do a whole lot at the deadline, so I mean, they're blended, and you know what I mean. They're pretty much they're all vibing and working together well. I mean, they're pretty much who they're going to be, and they shouldn't be working out any of the kinks that we've been kind of getting through. So,
yep. So key to the game, actually, the two players on LA that I'm actually looking at right now are, let me make sure I have my notes correct. Yeah. So Adrian Kempe and Anze Kopitar. Now let's keep in mind something. They only have 58 and 57 points respectively, which at this point in the season is not a ton.
No, they're doing it by community.
But you're exactly right. But there are so many that are 20-plus goal scorers. I mean, 3, but there's plenty in the teens, and there's assists like crazy. They are playing community hockey right now. And it's insane how good that it's getting them.
Do you believe in community hockey versus I don't think, I would say more the Oilers are more a stark example of relying on the superstars, which they're winning without McDavid and Draisaitl right now. Sounds like Draisaitl practiced today, but just curious, which one do you think is more sustainable? Because the Kings could probably stand to drop a couple guys and still maintain, but they're
I
not
think you're
winning
right.
with larger margins. They're not able to have somebody put the whole team on their back, you know?
Yeah. My philosophy is that you will always need just that one player that
Draisaitl.
gets
Yeah.
something like that, right? One,
His
maybe two.
Kopitar's not that anymore, I don't think. So I
Yeah.
don't think they're fake, but they don't scare me. Um,
No, and that's just it though, because if you take away one, you take away all of them.
right. And that's
Effect.
why I'd kind of prefer that they beat the Oil. I don't know. I go back and forth. Skinner's so bad, but you got to wonder if
Well,
would
he's
you rather
also
see
on
the
the injury
Oilers or
block
the
as
Kings?
well. So
Yeah.
so it's so
I think it's his ego that's maybe injured more often than not. I think he wanted to finish the game with dignity last
it
night. Did you see
could
he took
be.
it to the head
Could be.
from
That's funny.
poor Rantanen? Oh my God, Nick! Did you see the puck he took to the face? Rantanen's life. He's a cursed human.
The only thing I can say is welcome to the Dallas Stars. That is like you
Oh
are
my
not a
God!
Dallas Star until you take a puck to the face.
Did you see the one of his profile and his cheek is he and oh my God, what's the guy from
It's
Saw? The
like,
clown face? The
uh-huh.
Jigsaw. He looked just like Jigsaw. He had that big
It
swollen
was
cheek.
like up
Just,
here, and I was like, oh my gosh. It reminded me of Sidney Crosby when he took a puck to the face and his whole side was just swollen like crazy. And I was like, oh my gosh, what happened to
you know
you?
how many goals Rantanen has since he has left the Avs?
Oh, hang on. I think was it 4 goals?
Can count it on one hand. Ugh.
4 goals.
I
Yeah.
feel more guilty every week. I feel like I'm more bought into the fact that I think we're better in the long run. I really do.
Yeah.
And
That's just
he's not even sustaining the same,
yeah.
plateauing. I just don't want Dallas to hate him. It's kind of nice that we don't even have to like battle with ill will because Carolina hates him enough for all of us.
Yeah.
So
You're
I
exactly
don't
right. So, anyways, yes, but again, key to the game for this, we know kind of the deal. It's almost a
really good
4-point
game.
game at this point. We're both
Yeah.
playing for something and playing to get after something, right? So,
Yeah.
so if they're going to bring it, we definitely need to, especially
I think it's going to be a
considering our
very
power play,
interesting, very
considering
interesting.
everything.
And Riddick is a good goalie. Like we giggle at that, but he has stoned the Avs a couple times. Was it Dallas that he played goal for and he carried them through that playoff series, didn't
Something
he?
like
Well,
that. Yeah.
65 different goalies, Hutchison, JoJo, Grubauer, all of them.
Been
I
through a
think it
few of
was
them.
Riddick that kept the Avs out of it for the most part. Or was that Hudobin? Or were they on a goaltender run too? But
I
I
know
Riddick
Kudobin
as much as
had, yeah, Bishop, Kudobin. Yeah, they had a bunch in that era. But anyway, so that game, like I said, is here just in a little bit on ESPN, so it'll be on national broadcast. The next game we're going to talk about, the Avalanche are still at home. This will be on Saturday, a matinee game, 2:30 Mountain Time puck drop against the St. Louis Blues, who right now, Britt, are probably one of the hottest teams in the league.
They are headed straight for the playoffs, which is freaking terrifying when you consider they have been the number one team in the NHL since January 1st. And do you know what happened the last time they did that? They won the championship. Like they won the Stanley Cup. And I don't know
They
that
rode that streak all the way into the playoffs and to the cup.
and that wasn't
Yep.
because of their team. That was because of one asshole. That's all it took was one jerk stopping everybody. So yeah,
Now he dresses up for Team Canada.
Exactly. It would be nice. I'm pretty sure that he's also been the best goalie in the NHL since coming back from Four Nations. We need to kick their butt and put them back in their place and take them down a notch. So my computer is shaking. My dog is literally on my bed panting so hard that like my whole
You're
world
good. You're just
shaking.
passionate. I get it.
She's gonna start whining soon here. I don't know if our times have been off enough that she's like un-Pavlov dogs wired
No
to know
kidding. I'm waiting. I'm waiting for it, man. As soon as they start bugging you, it's time to get off. I'm telling you.
Yeah, we got to kick their butts. We really do because they are seriously headed straight for playoff stardom. With the way
No,
things
seriously. Yep.
and
And that is in fact my key to the game.
probably a big reason of it. Like he's,
Yep.
yeah.
Yep.
Edmonton
That's
has regrets not keeping those two because Holloway and what's his face, Broberg, is that what it is? The two dudes that they
Broberg.
offer sheeted. I think it's Holloway is the one that is killing it. Did you see that check the other day on?
Holloway currently has 24 goals.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which for first year, kind of full year,
maybe you should have just paid him $3 and $4 million. Like I don't know. Edmonton's going to have a lot of regrets after this year, I think, but we very much need to put them in their place. And it's a statement game to me. Honestly, it's probably the most important game out of our next 5 until our next show. We need to make a statement and we need to put them in their place. Binnington in his place. I'd love to see Scott Wedgwood fight him, man. Maybe that's where we're going to get
something.
Oh,
maybe. We got to get our money worth at some point in time.
Yeah, Wedge is a big boy.
He is. Okay, so that's against St. Louis. I agree with everything you said. You know, it's about quelling their momentum and because again, if St. Louis makes it in like they did last time with a full head of steam momentum wise, it's hard to stop them in the playoffs. It is very hard to stop.
We are kind of their nightmare team. They're our Dallas Stars. You know, the boogeyman. We have just kicked when we swept them in the playoffs, I think we kind of broke them a little bit. So hopefully we can bring Binnington back to that place because I don't want him to be happy. I just want him to be happy all the time. There's nothing I feel that way about. So
there you go. Okay, so following that game, the third one we're going to talk about here is a team that's chasing St. Louis and the Calgary Flames. You are hosting them. This is, I believe, no, it's not, Monday night, 6:30 Mountain Time puck drop, a little earlier than usual.
Yeah.
But again, this one is, gosh, if I were to put two people on the radar, it would be Dustin Wolf, their goaltender, and Nazem Kadri, who's all of a sudden kind of found a groove right at an inconvenient time. But right now, Dustin Wolf has been playing pretty well.
Much up and coming goaltender of the league in its entirety. I mean, he is single-handedly carrying right now. Nas also.
Yeah, I mean, you look at that .911 save percentage. That's really good, especially for someone that young. 24 wins, 14 losses, 5 overtime, and 3 shutouts. He's good.
I don't know what good it does them to get into the playoffs, other than dropping their draft pick spot, but they're showing signs of life that I don't think anybody expected out of them.
Yep, I think that's exactly right. So if I were to put a key to the game, I don't want to say this, but you got to take them out of the playoff contention, right? Yeah. Because it's at a point now where it feels like St. Louis kind of has it in the bag, could even pass Minnesota for all we know. But that's not to mean that they're going to not give up because they're only not too far behind St. Louis. I think it's a 5-point spread now.
And
but they're just a scrappy team, right? Mm-hmm. And we've seen what they've done to us in overtime periods here at Ball Arena and stuff like that. They're not a team to be taken lightly. And again, it's another, despite them not being in your division, it feels like a 4-point game.
But I mean, just about every game until the end of the year.
Probably. Speaking of every game, here we go again. 4th game we're going to talk about. Avalanche are on the road for a little 3-game road trip, and we'll talk about 2 of those. The first one, Wednesday, 7:30 Mountain Time puck drop, nationally televised in Chicago. And Brit, Chicago, that like I said before,
fights out a couple teams. So
are you gonna try and go to this one? See if maybe
I feel like that's not a good idea. They don't seem to bring the best vibes.
My key to the game is whatever voodoo magic is in the United Center in Chicago, you need to vanquish it because they just have the worst luck ever when they play in Chicago. despite the fact that they're a far better team, despite the fact, whatever the stat sheet will tell you, they just do something that stops them from winning.
Chicago's having their first little bit of fun. What did they just beat the Flyers the other day? 7-2? I mean, they just about single-handedly got Tortorella fired.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, 7-4.
Yeah. This is where it'd be nice to see them step up and stop having stupid games. You know what I mean? Like, there's just no time left for it. So, yeah.
Yep. You can't afford these types of things. I know Bedard hasn't been in his main groove this season. It's kind of been just, the sophomore slump. Yeah. And he fell for it pretty bad, I will say. It's like, yeesh.
Yeah. And the Sharks have all the fun.
Yeah, the Sharks are just they're out there just having a swinging time, man. I tell you what, they're just there for the good vibes.
They're adorable. They really are.
But yeah, that's my key to the game. And this one's going to be all superstition. Whatever the crap is going on in Chicago with the Avs, it needs to stop, because this is, again, it's basically a 2 point. What am I trying to say? It is 2 points that that's just up for the taking. Just take them. That's
exactly. We've already given several games away this year, so no more freebies. I will be pissed if we lose this game, if they want to win for that reason alone.
Yep. So, at this point, I don't know what else to say for that one.
There's other than not much. Get in there and die. There's nothing else to it.
Okay, and then the last one we'll talk about here. You are traveling to Columbus. This will be on Thursday, 5:30 Mountain Time puck drop. Columbus is right now a team that is still in contention. I mean, no one in the East is really out of it right now. I think you could fit like 7 teams under a 3-point blanket. It's insane. And Columbus is one of those teams that if they continue to win at this clip that they're doing, because they've played some good comeback games.
But they're all quite mediocre and for the most part riding vibes. So the Avs still need to win this. I really don't think that there's any excuse for them to lose any of those 4 games after tonight.
Yeah, I think that's exactly right. This is one, again, where it's not your division. It's not even your conference, but it's still, like we said with Chicago, it is still 2 points that could get you further, because now you're looking at what could happen to Dallas if they start to drop games here and there. You shouldn't be able to afford it. If Dallas does, you inch closer. And again, I've said this time and time before, home ice advantage, especially against this Dallas team, is going to be so important.
Yeah. Yeah, especially when every series, this rivalry building, and now with Rantanen in Dallas, I mean, it's going to be about as charged as a first round series can get.
Yep.
So being at home would be very nice.
Yep. Okay, so I think as far as upcoming games, that's gonna be it for us. We're gonna try to end this one a bit early to make sure that you guys have the game put up in time. So I don't think we're gonna go any further. I think we're just gonna keep it nice and short and let you guys enjoy the game. So Britt, I don't know if you have anything else you wanted to add.
I'm excited for the game tonight. Be really nice to kick this little standoff. If we started with a win tonight, should be cruise control. So,
yep, I totally agree. Okay, awesome. Well, thank you everyone for joining us on this episode of the Cluster Puck Podcast. Again, if you like what you saw, don't forget to like and subscribe. Follow the MHRT network so you can get notified when shows like the Cluster Puck Podcast go live. You can do so on the various social media platforms of your choosing. And if you want to follow us, you can do so at the Cluster Puck Podcast on Facebook, or at Cluster Puck Avs on Twitter, Instagram, and Threads. With that being said, there are 10 points up for grabs, Britt. That's a big swing. It's going to be big, what am I trying to say? It's a big swing in energy week.
Yeah. It's about all in the season. It's not a whole lot left.
Yep. And with a little bit of help from the other teams against Dallas, that could narrow down, that could shrink. So I'm just going to have to see what happens. So thanks, everyone. Enjoy the game. Have a great weekend. And as always, go Avs, go.
Fast lane when I pass in the street. Bag of money in the passenger seat. Tempo's been asking for me on the road from the west to the east. Way up, I might never come down. cause the coast racking up the flame out. So high, might never come down. So what? This is my lifestyle. Wait a